there when our eyes met. Oh man. Creepy. Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Richard with Everlasting Gaming, and welcome to Her Lie I Tried to Believe, an awesome looking visual novel by Hangover Cat Production. Emphasis on the because it's a cat for some reason. This looks interesting. If you've ever hated someone so much that you just wanted to bonk them in the face with a crowbar and light them on fire, that's what this game's all about. According to the preview, it's all about hate. For some reason, this wonderful looking anime girl here, I don't see nothing wrong with her. I don't hate her. Sure, you guys don't hate her. But we're gonna find out what's going on. I'm excited. This was released on itch.io about 2 days ago, so let's just dive right on in and see what this has in store. I wonder why I didn't notice it at the time. The meaning behind all of this. Now that I understand it, I can declare with certainty that my life would have been completely different if I had seen through it sooner. Was I too insensitive? Or maybe I simply wished I didn't really understand. No matter. Maybe you will see the truth where I couldn't. Maybe you will see it. Remember that bear? Only you can prevent forest fires. What a dreary-looking basketball court. It all started in elementary school. Not middle school, nor high school, but elementary school. Just to tell how long she's been tormenting me. Yes, a girl. It's always about a girl, isn't it? Couldn't have been a rivalry between boys. No, it needed to be a girl. Fuck. I love the emphasis on the shit. Fuck. There's no predetermined time to mark when exactly this happened. It just kind of turned out this way, I guess. The moment I laid my eyes upon her, I knew I would hate her. Wow. Kind of jumping to conclusions there, buddy. Although, have you guys ever met someone you just can't stand them? Like in the first 3 seconds, like, I can't stand you. I don't know about hate, but it happens. It's just the worst thing ever. Aw, you're adorable. I don't hate you. She was tall. Well, not tall, but still taller than me back then. You know how it goes. Her hair was not very long. Boyish. Would probably be a good way to define it. But again, this wasn't such a surprise during that time. Her strength must have been similar to mine even. Her features resembled most of the these girls. She wasn't special, that's for sure. Sounds like this guy has a crush on her. Most guys hate girls before they have crushes on them. She had brown eyes, black hair, a cute little girl, and it stopped at that. Just that. Yet, there was one thing. Only one simple thing that separated her from the rest of those pure girls. Her eyes. There was something, and I'm not talking about twinkles or anything of that sort. I'm talking about something darker. Something that doesn't belong to a kid. But she hid it. Or at least tried to. And it worked with most people. But not with me. I wonder if she saw the same thing in my eyes. Maybe that's why I felt so much contempt towards her. Maybe that's why she answered that contempt with some unknown feelings of her own. I don't know how it happened. Ooh, it's getting fuzzy. Did she provoke me first? Or was I the one pushing this conception as the sole intent of our relation? The fact that we were rivals. I think it started because she was beating me at running. She was beating me at pretty much everything, really. But I think running was something more perceivable. And that's why I felt it weighing so much more on my mind. It sounds like they like each other to me. To be beaten by a girl? And it wasn't that she had a talent for running or whatever. It was simply that I was mediocre. And it would have been probably alright with me if it weren't for that smile. Kind of like a in-your-face kind of smile. Which isn't a bad thing all the time. But giant anime eyes are always terrifying. Oh, or when they zoom in suddenly. That smile, always teasing me. So brightly so. And it wasn't that compelling either. I mean, more often than not, she'd be missing some teeth due to growth. So, ew. But again, I don't fully remember why she started doing this. But every time she finished before me in a race during PE, she'd always look at me with that smile and say, "Better luck next time, Tim." The look of relief, she's like, "Oh, God, I just farted. It was great. But you did great, Tim. I'm so proud of you. Alright, I'm gonna just go sit down over here." For me, it was the greatest insult for a boy who tries to distinguish himself from the others in an environment such as elementary school, to be beaten and laughed at by a girl There's no way I wouldn't take it personally. So I made it kind of my life mission to beat her at every opportunity I'd get. But sadly for me, I was just an average guy. And while she was an average girl, she was slightly better than I was. I think for her, it was simply a game. Something to put a smile on her face, or to feel proud about. Seeing me fail and looking so irritated by the fact, she must have thought I was amusing myself somehow. It was only when winter came that she understood the depth of my feelings. I'm telling you, he likes her. We've been standing here pondering for a whole season. It's already winter. We were playing King of the Hill on a snow mountain with a couple of kids. I said we, but we weren't friends or even really acquainted to one another. But we knew each other's names, and that was that. Maybe it made it even more of an impact because of this, because no one was really playing aggressively. We were just kind of pushing each other out from the top of the mountain to claim it our own. Excuse me. But when I saw her, that girl, climb to the top of the mountain and try to take even this fleeting achievement from me, I kind of just snapped. Uh-oh. I remember thinking, this is mine. You won't take it away from me. He's gonna kill her or something, isn't he? And she didn't. She didn't because I grabbed her with all my strength and threw her to the bottom of the mountain, directly on hard ground. Oh my god, dude. This is how you get demons and stuff when you kill people in fits of rage that aren't necessary. It must have hurt. It must have hurt really bad. But my thoughts weren't there. I was completely euphoric by the idea that I protected what was mine. That I was finally beating her at something. I guess her strengths were really no match after all. The kids were all regrouping themselves around her for some reason. Wow, he really hurt her. Poor girl. I finally understood that I did something I shouldn't have done. Their glares on me told me so. Yet, I didn't feel bad. Maybe I'm the crazy one. Who just throws someone on the ground for something so stupid? I mean, this girl had been tormenting me way more than this, but they didn't know. How could they know? Or it's all part of her evil plan. Finally, the girl, Cassandra, got up painfully from the ground. She didn't cry. She didn't try to stir up compassion from those around her. No, she simply looked at me. Oh, dude. Yep. You pissed her off. Looked at me with those eyes. Then I knew when she finally understood how I felt. That's when I knew she finally started hating me. She became serious. That rivalry I thought we had was nothing more than normality for her. So by seriously trying to beat me at everything, she became one of the best students in our class. I could say some stupid shit like I wanted her to become this way because I knew she was faking to be someone else, but that's clearly not the case. The only reason I ever had in wanting to crush her were simply juvenile, and immature ones at best. I don't think she was fake before, by any stretch of the imagination. I just think she had that much potential. Sure, I also became better because of the fact, but she always had the last word in the end. And her smile changed too. There was no longer this faint warmth emanating from it. It was cold, like this thing I thought I had once seen in her eyes. She finally looked at me the way I always looked at her. I guess I opened her eyes. And then she saw me for whom I truly was. Who am I? I didn't feel bad about it. At least I thought I did. If I had any emotion back then, it's probably numbed by this excruciating feeling of being humiliated. Also, she stopped saying her usual line when beating me. She continued saying something all right, but it was no longer that line. Instead, she just said something like, "Are you even trying?" And she would say it as often as she could. It was no longer simply when we were running against each other, but also during our academic reports, and even during luck influence games. I'm telling you, they're going to end up making out at the end of all this. My elementary school life ended with an extremely bitter aftertaste. I became the laughingstock of my class, and I somehow helped Cassandra become even better than she already was. A complete defeat indeed, but there would be other chances for me to prove my worth. I knew there would. A chance to crush her, that is. Middle school brought some change with it. Well, not right away, but in the second part of the first year for sure. I became taller, or maybe she became smaller. I don't know. Since she was the sole thing I ever set my eyes on, she became my reference when it comes to any kind of physical changes. See, now he's watching her grow. I'm telling you, he's infatuated with her. I could hardly believe it, yet it was something anyone could have predicted. Me becoming taller than her. For some unknown reason, we still ended up in the same class. We had somehow chosen the same options. Disgustingly enough, our hatred towards each other was still very real, so it was like we only picked things up from where we left them during elementary school. Her hair was now longer. She started little by little to take up shapes, which made her body longer to take up shapes. Interesting. To take up shapes, which made her body no longer be regarded to one as a kid anymore. Even I could see how beautiful she was becoming, yet I was still repulsed by her. Likewise, I changed in a drastic fashion. I became taller and I gained some mass along the way. Again, I was very much an average guy, but I still tried my best to keep my body in shape in order to eventually win against her. See, if you're putting all this effort trying to compete against someone, that means they mean that much to you, which means you probably like them, because that's what I think is going on. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. And that paid off. Or maybe it was just the direct result of those apparent changes. But in any case, I finally started to take the upper hand on her, at least during PE and other physical competitions. I was no longer chasing her. She was now chasing me. Can you at least show a bit of determination? That was my line. What a joke, really. Couldn't even think of anything clever to say, so I just stole her line and made it my own. And I wouldn't stop at that. I wanted my back to be as far in front of her as it possibly could. So I decided to start playing basketball to build up stamina and keep my body in shape. In no time, I became somewhat popular. And I don't think I was any good, really. My whole team was just that bad. That's all. Anyway, popularity didn't interest me. My eyes were still locked on her all this time, so I played the card of the cool kid, faking to enjoy everyone else's eyes on me. Excuse me. But it was just another way to get back at her. Cassandra. Just her name makes me shudder. She was popular in elementary school, but now she was kind of distant and solitary. Then look at me and acknowledge my existence. It was how I thought, but every time I looked her way, she never looked at mine. I came to realize that she had lost all interest in our rivalry. It was only natural. I mean, she no longer had any chance when it comes to physical performance. You had your chance, buddy, to win Cassandra's heart, and it's gone. So I decided it was time to change gears. If I wanted to take everything away from her, I would need to build up not only my own body, but my mind too. That bitch is ignoring me like that. I'll show you just how much you made me suffer. She didn't really do anything to him. Just because he didn't like her eyes, he's doing all this? Like, what's wrong with you, dude? It took me a long time to better my academic results. A long time indeed. It was all but natural for me to do so. In the end, I had no other choice but to drop the basketball team to focus on my studies. The 2 years of middle school ended, but she was still always one step in front of me. One day to the next, she would stop teasing me, or even look proud about what she accomplished. The glimpse of darkness that I once saw in her eyes was now the only thing persisting to be seen throughout her features. Well, she's like a super anime girl, like kawaii, adorable, typical pose. High school finally came, but luck was not on my side this time around. We no longer had any class in common. See, why is that a lucky thing to you if you can't stand her? If anything, I think you'd be happy. The stress is gone. Luck. Wonder why I looked at it this way. See? Probably because tormenting her gave me so much satisfaction. See, you are a sadist, my friend. It's not a good thing. Didn't matter, though. I could still compete with her in the midterm exams, and the likes. All I needed to do was to keep an eye on studying until I felt completely satisfied with my results. My popularity had already degraded almost to the point of being called inexistent. Yet there were still girls that confessed to me from time to time. Every time I would turn them down, though, if I had time messing around with girls, I probably had time to study even longer than I already was. This is kind of creepy. Look at, you got these little moon crescents here and a question mark? At least that's how I try to keep myself focused. So, you understand, I felt pretty stupid when I first saw her with a boy. Until then, she didn't seem to show any interest in the opposite sex. I wonder why it changed now all of a sudden. Sure, she was quite good looking. She was a lot more feminine when she was younger. No wonder she would be so popular with the boys. But with how long I've been watching her, that's creepy. I couldn't think of it any other way than, why now of all time? He likes her. This is jealousy. We're going through the motions, you guys. I was mad. I was disappointed. I felt humiliated. So does that mean she doesn't need to study as much as I do to beat me? Is that what she's trying to say? Paranoid. This made me put even more effort on my studies. There's no way it's going to end up the way you want it to be this time. You know, it's funny, he's so paranoid, but she hasn't said anything directly to him that she's actually trying to do anything wrong. He's the one that caused a direct problem. He's the one that dropped her on the ground, for Christ's sake. I was sure that I would crush her during our next midterms. So you can imagine my surprise when I actually did. The grades of the top 50 were displayed on a sheet of paper in the main hall of the school. Normally, she'd be in the top 5, or I'd be in the top 10. But this time around, it was reversed. How could this be? I was angry. I should have been happy, but I wasn't. How could I be? This wasn't supposed to be this way. There was too large a margin between the two of us. That was impossible. The thrill of the chase over actually catching the prey. I remember that right then, and there I looked around me, really pissed off. There, when our eyes met, oh man. Creepy. For the first time in at least a year and a half, our eyes met with each other. And while mine were extremely cold, hers were as passionate as ever, as if she never changed during all those years. She even smiled at me, disgustingly so. I walked over into her direction, unable to keep my cool. Oh, some dialogue, finally! So my name is Tim. Exciting. What's wrong with you? I blurted out as if there was intimacy in our relationship, when in reality, it was the first time I spoke to her since middle school. Relationship? Wow, she really did grow up. Excuse me? She said to me, trying to look clueless at the reason for my forceful approach. What a great actress she is. As if she doesn't know the reason for me to be all worked up. Is this because of your new boyfriend? Is that jealousy I hear? You did not spell jealousy right, but I know what you were trying to say. She's doing this on purpose. Don't fuck with me. Oh, dude, no. You do not grab a woman. That is not right. A man should never, ever lay their hands on a woman. That's not right. I took a hold of her collar aggressively and looked at her directly in the eyes. She's gonna slap you to hell, dude. Or you're gonna kiss her. I mean, we're gonna find out. I hear others around us talking as though I'm about to hit her on something. Yeah, you don't do that. They seem almost scared of what I might do. Yet she doesn't look scared at all. She reciprocates my stare and waits for my words. What is it with that grade, eh? Are you not taking it seriously anymore, now that you have a boyfriend? Is that it? My grade? So you came to talk to me because of my grade? Her eyes became stern. Uh-oh, you pissed her off. The inoffensive smile she once had on her face disappeared viciously. Tell me, why is it? Why is she changing all of a sudden? This shouldn't happen. Why, you ask? I don't know, it just ended up that way, that's all. Don't give me that shit. I know you. You know what? She pushed me upon hearing my words. I lost a hold of her as a direct result. Good for you. God, I'm an asshole in this game. You know nothing, Tim. Whatever. You better get your act together next time or else Else what? Uh-oh. I'm about to get my comeuppance. A guy closed up on us and put his hand on my shoulder in a warning kind of fashion. Is this guy troubling you, Cass? Yeah. I shook his hand off me and walked away without looking back. I'll show you next time who's the best between the both of us. You better prepare yourself. I think she said something back to me, but I didn't hear it. I was too extremely frustrated by her attitude to hear or see anything around me. People probably looked at me the wrong way, but it didn't matter to me. As if everything I'd been doing has no value, as if I was ever the only one seeing ourselves as rivals. But this should be okay now. By confronting her like that, I gave her a little push. That's all she needs. Her pride will come out on top in the end. I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose to her. What's wrong with me? My God. I'll show her. Just you wait, Cassandra. How stupid I was. Not understanding that the person I thought I hated the most was also the one I needed the most. Is this what we really call irony? I had studied for the past 3 years on a multitude of subjects, yet I was so extremely clueless to the most natural things surrounding my life. It was only at the next exam week that I finally realized the obvious flaw in my way of perceiving the world. I was so sure of myself. Well, for that I was. There was nothing else occupying my mind during all those weeks of self-study and cram school. I'll beat her fair and square. Last time wasn't a fair fight. She had purposely neglected her studies for something as stupid as love. But now will be different. I guess it's probably because of my obsession in my studies that I had yet to notice something so important. Something that I shouldn't have missed. In front of the piece of paper which numbered out the best students, I was searching frantically like a madman for something that was definitely supposed to be there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not even there. What the fuck? That's impossible. She must have changed her name or something. This can't be happening. But no matter how many times I look at it, I was forced to conclude the same thing over and over again. She wasn't there. She wasn't in the top 50. I thought that maybe, ridiculously enough, she had skipped a year somehow, even though we're in the middle of the semester. But she wasn't even in the top of the third years either. How could that be? I went directly to the ones in charge of those stupid lists. They probably had made a mistake, useless as they were. I'm so friggin' obsessed. That's where I heard something surely preposterous, something so fucking ridiculous, I had no other choice but to snap back at them and insult the lots of them. They told me, and this was with the most serious tone there is, that she had quit school a month and a half ago. A fucking month and a half. So while I was uselessly, obsessively, foolishly trying the best I could to surpass this girl that I thought was my equal, she was messing around, probably with boys or whatever, and didn't even think of me as even worth the effort. She probably thought she could have had everything in life since she was so fucking good. And she left me here like a fool, lingering with this fucking feeling inside my throat that she doesn't want to disappear? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to believe it. But it was the truth nonetheless. I was just too fucking blind to see it coming. That was all. Fuck! That bitch. My god, calm down. She won even when I was sure of winning. The hopeless feeling I was so eager to give her was now stuck within me, unable to get rid of it. She was no longer someone I could go head-to-head with, since she had given up entirely. I asked for the reason of her departure, and they told me it was a personal matter. Probably had something to do with her family or whatever, but I knew it wasn't. Fucking bullshit. It was probably her way to get back at me. Knowing I was finally going to beat her, she just ended up quitting to make sure it never happened. But then I had a revelation. What if I decided to wait for her another year? Yeah, that would be a great idea. I just need to purposely fail, and then this guy needs to just stop and think about what he's doing. But then I realized I just topped number 2 in my last academic results. I was pretty much sure of passing. This was over. I had lost the one thing that was keeping me going. For a time I seriously wondered what I was going to do with my life now that I lost all interest. But eventually it didn't matter all that much. Since I had done good for a good part of my youth, I couldn't easily stop. So I just continued studying the best I could, with emptiness as my sole source of motivation. High school came to an end, and extremely quickly. The last day of school, I looked around and saw a lot of students, happily chatting together, probably feeling proud of themselves. Some had boyfriends and girlfriends at their side, their arms around them, as though the world no longer had any secrets to them. I was the best of my class, one of the best of the whole school, and yet I knew nothing. I felt hollow. I was already going to the top university. I could see my future without anyone telling me, yet I had lost something by becoming who I am. I know this, but since I'm not one of them, I don't know what this is. Chapter 2. A group date, maybe? Hey, there's chapters. Alright, you guys. Oh, let's see where this goes. 2 years. Alright, well, I think it's pretty clear we have some obsession problems. I'm sorry, but if you're this obsessed with beating someone or, seeing them or just every little thing about them, you like them, you clearly like them. I think he likes her. What do you guys think? I want to know in the comments below. This is getting crazy. I'm curious to know if, in the end of all this, whether I'm justified or I'm just batshit crazy. Maybe she does have a dark secret. Maybe I'm just the one that's insane. We're going to find out. All right, you guys. Hey, it's been fun. I had fun. I always have fun with you guys. Hey, if you guys like seeing new and exciting gaming videos just like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button below and hit that bell so you get notifications every time I post. I cannot wait to see where this goes in the next episode. I'm so excited for tomorrow. All right, you guys. Hey, it's been fun. I'm Richard with Everlasting Gaming, and as always, have a good night.